Good afternoon, peep and peepettes. It's just your madman, simple old me. The one who knows nothing about nothing, everything about nothing, and nothing important. I hope you're all well. And I hope you're all in a position, or some of you is in a position, to help me understand something. Something that's very basic and very simple. Keir Starmer. Oh, sorry, that's just my, where is he? Dog. That's Ben Wild chowing away on a pigskin and struggling badly like a white farce. Right. When Boris Johnson was in government and he made the mistake of having a party during lockdown, Keir Starmer was one of the loudest voices saying he'd misled Parliament, he'd done this, done that, done t'other, and needed to resign or be sacked, whichever way it was. How many people can you name off the top of your head that he has criticised for doing things the wrong way? Yet we have a person, I'm not even going to say a man, we have a person, we have probably like a shapeshifter or a night walker, whatever they're called, who is presenting himself as a man, as the Prime Minister of Great Britain, as the person that ultimately leads us into either war, disaster, financial and economic bankruptcy, or a civil unrest. We have a man who since July 24, so do the maths, I don't know how long. And I think I read somewhere the other day, he has obliterated 20 or so of his stances and backtracked, turned, U-turned, back challenged, whatever you want to call it. And then we now have this situation with the Mandy thing, let alone the Ukrainian rent boys, let alone the fact that he has deliberately or allegedly, more to the point, allegedly delayed the court case of the two Manchester suspected attackers, just so that it doesn't interfere with next May's election, which he tried to cancel and then again had to back down. You tell me how many mistakes you can make in your job. Whether you're a plumber, sparky, a hospital worker, one of those neuroengineers or neuropsychologists that we keep getting more and more brought into the country. You tell me how many major mistakes and how many times you're going to U-turn before you lose your job. Yet this slimy snake pit piece of shit gets to stand in front of everybody and say, "Oh, it weren't my fault. I didn't see what was happening. I went by what I was told," even though allegedly it seems to be the appointed Mandy before the due vetting process had been completed. So he knew where he was going, he knew what he was doing, yet this slimy ass snake in the grass, there is something, and I'm not even talking on a political level, I'm talking on a personal level, a personality level. There is something abhorrent about that man. There is something absolutely abhorrent about that man. He is so self-centred, so selfish, so stuck up his own ass and dealing with his own little problems by placing the blame on other people of 14 years of Tory government or this and that and the other. That man's not a leader. Keir Starmer, even, sorry, that was my bad. Keir Starmer's not a leader, he's a dictator. He's an occupier. He has occupied number 10 Downing Street, and that's it. It's his. And he won't give us a safe vote. He won't allow us to attend any kind of protest that means we want him out, because he will just literally do what he did back in August of 24, and he will just slam the brakes on, and anybody that disagrees with him will be facing a knock on the door. The only problem what he doesn't realise is this. Back in 24, the police, the plod, the old Bill, whatever you want to call him, were quite happy to go along with his attack on British people. We were the ones on the right hand side. We were the ones that was always getting levered at these marches. Yet the lefties were allowed to say whatever, call for an intifada, call for beheadings, as in that Ricky Jones, MP, and they got nothing. But you look now at this past weekend, the Britain First March in Manchester, probably the most prominent display of policing that have had enough of the two-tier system that they get blamed for. Some coppers do what they're told because they need to keep their job for their families. Some coppers don't want to go down that two-tier route, but they get threatened with the sack, like teachers and nurses and anybody, welders, brickies, labourers, whatever, have been getting sacked because of their views. But if you look at Saturday's march in Manchester, the Britain First March, right, them police had had enough of the bullshit that the left wing, the anti-this, the anti-that, the blah, 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 whatever they want to call themselves, the Manchester police had enough, and they dealt with them. And it's going to spread. Because if Keir Starmer dares puts us against the authority, if he dares steps into a position, sorry, he's struggling with that. If he dares steps into a position where he puts or orders troops or police on the land to take on British patriots, I'm going to guarantee you right now that he will fail. He will fail. We have had enough. They have had enough. Everybody has had enough of his bullshit and his lies and his U-turns and his slippery, snaky skin oil. So now is the time for us to unite. No bickering on YouTube between right-wing commentators. No bickering in real life between right-wingers, between parties. You know, we've got like the Reform that have gone against everything they were saying we could do with them back. You've got Restore. You've got Britain First. You've got Advance UK. These people need to come together. And they need to unite. And they need to unite the people like we was back in September of last year. We have to stand up against the regime. We have to stand up against the authority. We have to stand up against the shield that covers his ass. And we have to take back what is ours. Now is the time for coordination. Now is the time for cooperation. Now is the time for brothers and sisters to stand shoulder to shoulder in the face of the enemy. And that enemy... Sorry, he's making a pig's ear of that. And that enemy is the slimy piece of shit who is windling his way out yet another situation that should have got him... that should have got rid of him. Resignation. So let's come together. Let's work hard. Let's work tirelessly. Let's work safely. Let's work peacefully and beat them at their own job. Beat them at their game. They want us to kick off. When it's the May the 16th rally, or even this Thursday when it's St George's Day, they're going to want us to kick off. They're going to want us to put our heads above the parapet and go fighting, because that plays into their little system, their little manuscript. We need to do it properly. We need to do it forcefully, and we need to do it as one. And that's all I want to say on the matter. These are my opinions, these are my perspectives, these are my point of views. These are not statements that's written in stone. These are not statements that are written as fact. This is something that I believe in, that I believe we should be doing now. Come the May elections, let's have a change. Let's force their hands into a general election. Let's not give them a chance to talk his way out of it, to talk bullshit, to slime and snake and skin and... Let's be one. Let's be one coordinated opposition to the lies and the bullshit that is coming out of number 10 Downing Street. With that, I'm going to go back to watching my dicky dog try and chew this pigskin that he's hid several times or tried to keep hiding. So, your madman says... He says, take care. He says, look after yourselves. Look after your friends, your neighbours, your elders, your relatives. See somebody in town that needs a hand? Offer it. people you speak to in your village, town, city, centre, wherever, people you speak to far and wide. Look after them. Most importantly, look after yourself, because there is going to become a time very soon where we are going to be needed to do what we have to do. It's always been a case of what we need to do, but now this is becoming a case of what we have to do. Look after yourselves. Take care. Stay safe. Stay loud. Stay proud. Peace.